Hey guys, just want to share with you some things or things to think about or and conversations that I had. But don't tell anybody. So anyway, I was working from home on Tuesday and one of my office mates called me and she was telling me about someone that had gotten let go. And it was not a teammate in our department, but this person had gotten let go and they worked in the maintenance department and didn't really know this person. And the interesting thing is, he was a young fella, nice looking, nice to look at. Um, but this is just a perspective. And when I was young, I can remember, and I'm talking about when I was in my 20s, early 20s, I hadn't really been around, didn't date much, and so when I did date, the first person I met, I ended up getting married, and but I can remember being irritated or annoyed, jealous, whatever you want to call it, when he was talking about other women, staring at other women, making comments, or why can't you look like her, and why can't you dress like her, why can't you be skinny like her, or whatever it might be. So we got divorced and we were too young, and plus it wasn't a healthy relationship. So happily divorced. And then later on I learned, just through life and everything, and one of my girlfriends was telling me, because I guess her husband or boyfriend was always staring at other people. And then I realized all of us do that. And her perspective was, think of it as though when people look at other people, whether they be attractive people or unattractive people or whatever you want to call it, think of these people almost like as works of art that people are admiring. So that's a thought process that I had adopted. So when you see your significant other gazing at somebody, and my mom used to call it being a swivel head, because I remember at the supermarket when my father used to wait for her shopping, he would be like, I guess like looking at all the interesting or attractive people, women, walking by, and it annoyed her, and she would say he was a swivel head. Well, when you think about it, I mean, that's what people used to do probably before social media and the internet and all that. I can remember people actually going to the mall and they didn't want to shop. This is when malls were more in fashion. And they would say, I'm going to the mall to people watch. Hold on a second. The hub is calling. If I can get the phone to work. Hello?
Hey, quick question on the Meow Mix, the dry taffy. Which one is it?
What brands are you looking at?
Well, all of them.
Is there any made by Friskies
Risky.
in the purple package, the orange package? That's their favorite. The kitty's favorite.
No, I don't see that.
All right. Just get a Meow Mix. What are the flavors? Tell me the flavors.
Wait a minute, man. I found the Friskies.
What's the color package?
It's the purple bag. There's Surf and Turf favorites. That's purple. Seafood Sensations. That is green or blue. I mean. Protein Plus. I've never seen that one before.
Get the purple bag.
I think that's one I've gotten before. Okay, we're just waiting on your mom's medication to get there.
Okay. Okay, good.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye
All
bye.
right. Bye.
Okay. So where was I? Um, so if you think about when you used to go to the mall, probably back in the 80s, people would go and just people watch. So you would shop a little bit, sit and have lunch, and then you'd sit and stare at all the funny people walking back and forth. He'd stare at all the hot people. He'd stare at all the wide body people. He'd stare at everybody. Well, that's what my dad called people that were overweight. He thought it was less offensive to call them wide bodies. And I don't know why I'm deviating on this, probably because of the phone call. So, he thought that was less offensive and kinder to call someone who's overweight a wide body. It's like I remember calling somebody fat, and he goes, "That's not nice. They're wide. They're wide body people." So anyway, that was ridiculous. I look at it now. Anyway, so when you see an attractive person or your loved one is gazing a little too long, just think they're looking at a work of art. Basically, that's what it is. So back to what I was telling you. This young gentleman who worked in the maintenance department, he got let go. And I didn't really know him, but he was a work of art, and we all enjoyed looking at him. And where I work, there's a few good-looking guys, and we all know who they are. There's probably, for the men, there's probably more good-looking women to look at than vice versa. They're just lucky that way. But we have a lot of not the cream of the crop where I work of men. So, what I was going to tell you was, so this young fella, who I didn't know, originally I was going to call this video, which is now kind of rude when I think about it, I was going to call it Young and Dumb. I'm sure he's a lovely soul. When he first started working there, and he's young, don't forget, very young, and totally inappropriately, I think he was one of those folks that was always looking for someone to fill a void in his life or scratch an itch, if you get my drift. I got the feeling he was a very lonely soul. And so a lot of times when I'd be going down the hall, it was quite a big building with lots of little hallways on, it's like one big atrium and then there's two sides. But anyway, if he and I happened to catch a glimpse of each other, and he wouldn't, I'm probably old enough to be his mother, but he would look in my eyes, and he'd have this warm, moist look going on with his eyes. Really lonely. Just kind of look and gaze. And I used to kind of be polite and shut it down because, I'm not going there. So he always had this rejected look on his face after that. And then I heard he was dating one of the young girls in another department, and which that really has nothing to do with anything, because a person like that has needs, voids to fill. Like I said, I just felt like he was a lonely, desperate soul, lost. And when you think about it, this person whom I didn't engage with, he was basically a nice looking fellow, not bad to look at, and he was always there to push open a door for the women, always looking, trying to gauge, okay, what's she all about? Is she available? Is she the next one? I kind of think he was looking for a mother figure. But young and dumb, he will be missed.